Join me now for more national political reporter for the Philadelphia Inquirer, Jonathan Tamari. So, Jonathan, you've been following this race from the very beginning. What did you think of Fetterman's performance, and did it ease concerns about his health?
It was a tough night for Fetterman, I think, and I think even Democrats are saying that today. It certainly did not ease concerns. We have seen him do some public events, do interviews with editorial boards and reporters, and he's often been smoother and more fluent than he was last night. Last night was a lot of people were watching because there have been questions raised about his health for some time now, and it was not one of his stronger nights on that front. And as I think you pointed out, it doesn't necessarily mean that he has cognitive issues. He's able to follow the questions and engage in the discussion, but he's not able to articulate his views in the way that I think even he would want. And there is concern among some Democrats, given how close it is, what impression that might leave on voters who are still deciding at this point.
So Fetterman and Oz debated familiar topics like inflation, abortion, gun laws, crime, fracking. Did you see anything in this debate that you weren't expecting?
There was not a lot significantly new on the policy side. A lot of the things that you heard last night are things that these two candidates have been saying for a long time now. One thing that was slightly interesting was Fetterman noting that he would not support expanding the Supreme Court. That I don't think has come up very much at all. But the moment, again, that your report pointed out that Democrats are pointing to is Oz talking about local politicians being involved in abortion laws. He has made it clear that he's against abortion in almost all cases except for rape, incest, and to preserve the life of the mother. But by mentioning politicians, they believe that he actually made his own stumble that can be used in these final weeks, especially with suburban women voters.
And so maybe the biggest moment of the night came on abortion, right? When Dr. Oz said that local politicians should be involved in that decision. How do you think that's going to play out with voters now?
Yeah, I mean, Democrats think that that is kind of their answer to whatever problems Fetterman had. They think that that is actually the bigger element to come out of this debate last night, that they've already cut an ad on that, and they're not just saying, using Oz's own words, they're trying to connect him to Doug Mastriano, who's the gubernatorial candidate for Republicans in Pennsylvania, and who has a very absolutist view on abortion, and to lump them together and use that quote to put them together. Mastriano appears to be significantly trailing in his race, and so they're hoping that they can drag Oz down in the same way with that quote.
So did Dr. Oz make his case to the Republican voters, you think? Are they convinced that he believes what he says?
I think Republican voters are supporting Oz largely. I think in many cases it's because they don't like Joe Biden and they don't like John Fetterman. When you look at the polling, there's not a lot of enthusiasm for Oz on the Republican side, but there's a lot of opposition to Fetterman and to Biden, and that seems to be the motivating factor for Republican voters in Pennsylvania right now.
Well, voters definitely have an opinion, right? Let's listen to this one voter who's actually torn between the two candidates.
I'm still very torn on who to vote for. At times I have voted Republican, but with this election, Roe v. Wade is definitely my most important issue. Fetterman just doesn't seem great. Dr. Oz, I do think, came off better than I expected him to, but I just don't know if I trust him. In general, I don't think a lot of people are thrilled with these candidates.
All right, clearly that's just one voter. What is sort of the feeling, though, overall, with regard to what voters are saying? Are they being swayed, one way or the other at this point?
Well, I think that when that voter mentioned Roe v. Wade, that's exactly what Democrats are hoping for, and that they're hoping will tip someone like that in her direction. But, I think also she mentioned Fetterman, and so will she see clips of this debate, or did she watch the debate, or voters like her, did they watch the debate? Generally, if somebody's undecided at this point, it often means that there's somebody who hasn't tuned in particularly closely, because the people who are really hardcore into politics generally get a sense of who they're going to support. So will she actually see, or voters like her see this debate? Republicans are going to try to make sure they see clips of it. But again, some folks have said, well, if you're not seeing the full thing, do you get the full effect of what issues Fetterman had with his speech? whereas the Oz clip is just one small snippet that Democrats are going to try to put in front of people. And I think at this point, if you're undecided at this point, it's hard to say exactly what's going to tip you because there's so many arguments being made. But it does seem like it's going to be a race that comes down to just a few percentage points.
All right, we're watching closely. National political reporter for the Philadelphia Inquirer, Jonathan Tamari. Thanks so much, Jonathan.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.